Well, it's been a journey, but we're finally here. I finally have to review Transformers Rise of the Darkspark. If I sound unenthusiastic, it's because I am. So, this game's not good. There are probably like two things I actually like to this game. But I said I'd review it as part of the trilogy, so I am. Even though this was recently brought up to me that this is not part of a trilogy, this is a spin-off of Age of Extinction and the Cybertron games using the same assets. But anyway, I'll be reviewing this, going over things such as gameplay, story, the pauses, and the many negatives. I don't have much more to say, except let's ratification bell, and without further ado, let's do this. But before we get into this, you should like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell. So, remember how Fall of Cybertron innovated and changed the gameplay of War for Cybertron while keeping it similar? Well, this game does the exact same fucking thing as Fall of Cybertron. It's all reused assets, there are no guns added, and in fact, 2 guns that are in the base game of Fall of Cybertron are DLC with characters. So, there's not much to talk about in the sense of like vehicle modes and combat and stuff, because I already covered it in Fall of Cybertron. But I can talk about it online, because I did play it. So, have you ever played Garden Warfare, the Plants vs. Zombie games? Yeah, it's that. So yeah, no online PvP. Now there's just a shitty version of zombies. And it's just wave upon waves of defending this little turret thing while you fight off enemies. There aren't actually classes in this game either. It's just a pick a character and play it. Yeah, there's no custom characters like there are in the other games for online. You open loot boxes, which is actually the biggest problem in this game. Everything is loot boxes. Characters, abilities, even things such as grenades and shields, even in story mode, are loot boxes. And actually, even in story mode, the weapon selectors only allow you to select weapons you get from loot boxes. The only reason I can kind of forgive this is because you can technically unlock loot boxes and everything by story. I think on my PS3 though, I had to play it like 5 times just to get every character and weapon. However, that is the problem. It could take you 3 playthroughs, you get extremely lucky, or it could take you 5 playthroughs or 10 playthroughs just to get everything. Because it's loot boxes, it's randomized. Everything is just a mess in the loot box system of this game. I don't have much to say in this section. Let's move on. This section's face to face, so you can see the passion in me. So first I want to get the positives out of the way for this game. It kind of explains how Shockwave becomes like the master leader or whatever of the Insecticons. Kind of just beats them and they join him. Yeah, that's kind of it. Maybe Grimlock was kind of cool. But anyway, let's go to negatives. First of all, the power scaling. I know it's super weird to say for this, but it is all over the place. Megatron can like summon some zombies and like barely be able to do anything with the DarkSpark. But Lockdown can stop time like he's Dio or something. And it's just so stupid. Or like at the beginning of the game, Lockdown stops time, and like for a while, and has enough time to leave. But at the final boss fight, you can stop time for like a few seconds, and then that's it. Every like so often. That goes to my next complaint. Lockdown makes it so much harder for himself than he has to. He could have ended the game in the very like first level. He just like killed Optimus, Bumblebee, and Drift without having to do anything. Why? Because you have the DarkSpark, and the DarkSpark is either ridiculously overpowered, or sucks, or the characters are just stupid. So yeah, that is a big problem. Next, the bosses are ass, which leads to Lockdown. So the Lockdown final boss fight, when you're doing it, he stops time. And I was playing on the hardest difficulty. and I got railed. Pause. But, like, I was getting destroyed. So I had to turn down the difficulty, because he pauses time to where you can't attack him. You can't dodge or anything. And I thought it was just me. But in that video, I got a comment saying, it's not just you. The boss fight actually does suck. You can't dodge it or do anything. Like, you actually just can't beat that boss on the hardest difficulty unless you get extremely lucky RNG. But that just actually sucks. Little editor's thing. I noticed in the Megatron boss fight, he doesn't even have a health bar. Next is that the story for Megatron also makes no sense on Cybertron. So, canonically, the Decepticons are winning the war. But suddenly Megatron's like, I need the DarkSpark. We're winning this war majorly. Like, we're already destroying our Autobots. But now I need the DarkSpark. And it's another thing. The DarkSpark's in this game, but you would think they would put Dark Energy on, like how it was in the Fall of Cybertron, War for Cybertron. No. They're not there. But yeah, you know, that's not good. We can't have that. Another complaint is that the game has two different, like, sections, or like play styles of visual. The Age of Extinction sections, and the Cybertron sections. Cybertron sections actually look pretty alright, but that's because they're all stolen assets from the second game, Fall of Cybertron. I mean, it was Cybertron style, but then you switch to Age of Extinction, which looks like the Dark of the Moon game on the PS3, PS2, whichever it released on. And it just, ooh, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good. It looks very awkward, especially when you put it next to the Cybertron parts, which actually look pretty alright. Although I will say, you probably can't see it too well, because this game did 720p. I actually have fixed that. This face thing is 720p, only because of the fact that my camera is 720p. But if you look at some of my newer videos, gameplays, they're 1080p. But anyway. Next part. The game is super front-load Decepticons, like super. You know in Fall of Cybertron, it's like you switch around between Decepticons and Autobots randomly. Well, like even near the end game, it's like play Decepticon, Autobot. Last level is really switch between. No. First part of the game, he plays Autobot. Then he just plays Decepticons for a while. Plays Autobot like twice, Decepticons. And then like the entire part of the final part of the game, the last like 10 levels are all Autobots. Like, you super front load yourself to Decepticons, and it's all Autobots. Instead of having balance. Like, what if we played as, like, I hate the part that's Age of Extinction tied in, but let's say that we play as Lockdown for like a section, or you introduce like, I don't know, some random Decepticon that's on like Lockdown's side. Like you added like a movie Onslaught, or although I guess he's in that Last Night. I hate that movie, but you know what I mean. They could add stuff. And now actually, I will add one more compliment, which is also kind of a backhanded compliment. Every level sucked except the Bumblebee and the Sharple levels. Sharple is however you say his name, the Insecticon you play as. Mainly because I think it's just kind of cool. You fly around Decepticon. The Insecticon's really cool. And the Bumblebee I just kind of find like, it's alright. You just like snipe and stuff. But that, this section was like, this game's ass. This game's ass, like all of it. I don't have much to say, except let's get out of this. So, this was the longest section that took me to do, mainly because this story makes zero sense at all. This is supposed to be a Cybertron game, but there's also Age of Extinction parts, because it's an Age of Extinction game, because it released at the same time, so they mixed them together, capitalizing off of both, and it failed. So I'm going to try to make as much sense of it as I can. So you kind of start the game playing as Age of Extinction Drift. In the level, you fight Lockdown's Armada from Age of Extinction until you meet with Optimus and Bumblebee. You fight some more enemies until you reach a crater where the DarkSpark has fallen, crash landed, and you fight your way to it as Lockdown comes down and takes it right before you get to it. And when he gets it, he turns into Dio and kind of just leaves. You then cut to Cybertron, which is before, obviously, the stuff you're doing in Age of Extinction. But you play Soundwave, it can be Starscream and Shockwaves. You're sent to find a DarkSpark. You go around fighting Insecticons until you eventually play Shockwave As Shockwave, you fight the 3 main Insecticons to defeat them. Then Shockwave becomes their master. Now you play Sideswipe and Ironhide. Editor's note: there was an entire section which I missed while doing the story. But don't worry, the story sucks anyway, so yeah. You play Sideswipe Ironhide here too. And you have DarkSpark, because you got it. You have to fight bugs forever until you eventually regroup with Optimus and Bumblebee. And you then fight bugs while you wait for the train. I have to mention, this game has a lot of you fighting bugs, like forever and ever. But anyway, and then you get on the train and leave. But Shockwave blows it up with explosives. I'm not even sure how he got them on there, but he kind of just did. You didn't play a Sharp Shot, and you just defeat Ironhide and get DarkSpark. You go to meet up with the other Decepticons with Shockwave. You get ambushed by the Autobots, so you kind of just beat them up, and then you meet with Swindle and Vortex. You switch to playing a... Editor's note, this section's going to look a bit scuffed, because I was trying to get 1080p, and this was my first attempt trying to do it, so it just looks bad. I have 1080p good now, as you can see. Swindle, where you kind of just like fight off enemies until you fight Cliffjumper. After a while, you destroy some cannons so that Blastoff can come down and deliver DarkSpark. You then must meet up with Onslaught, where you have to help him defeat a Titan. And then you become Bruticus, which is actually pretty cool, to be honest. I actually kind of like this part. Kind of. You defeat some Autobots, then Cliffjumper reappears. He tries to attack you, but you're kind of a Titan, so you just like destroy him and then hold him hostage. I'm not doing it anymore. For the sake of my mental health, I'm not doing the story anymore. So, we finally made it. It was a ride. I think this was about a year in the making of content. We started the journey playing the games, starting with War for Cybertron. Actually, I was sorry, Fall of Cybertron, all the way back then. We played through it. It was a good time. It was a good time. Then we played through War of Cybertron, DarkSpark. I reviewed War for Cybertron. I then reviewed Fall of Cybertron. And now I'm reviewing DarkSpark. As painful as that might be. And I have to admit, this was the hardest video to make. Except when I got to pause and negatives, that was so fun to do, because I could just trash on this game. But yeah, writing the script, especially for story, was just really painful. But through all these videos, I did get relive through my childhood again. Sorry, God. I know they say to edit out some stutters, but I'm trying to keep it real. And also, I spent way too long reading the script. And while this may be the end of the series, it's far from the end of review videos. I promise you, I already got next things lined up. So I hope I see y'all there. And that's it for now. So, let's roll out.